Morning and welcome to the Money Matters Morning Show, where we talk all things faith, finances, and the freedom of good credit. Come on in, tag, share. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're going to get started in a few seconds. Just want to make sure that everyone can hear me okay. If you're having any audio issues, just let me know, and then we're going to get started in just a few seconds. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm Nefateria, and I'm a certified professional coach as well as an author of this wonderful book called How to Act. Activate your faith, commit to a plan, and take action that will change your life. And you can get your copy at bit.ly/how, the number 2, ACT. And so I help professional individuals that are having some credit challenges increase their credit score, and also to ensure that they're being mindful of their personal finance when it comes to budgeting, saving, as well as debt elimination. So today, the title of this scope is called The First Time. So today we're actually going to talk about how to get credit for the very first time. Some of you have college-age kids that just recently graduated, and they're going to be getting pounded with a lot of credit card offers. So we're going to jump right into that in just a few moments here. But let me introduce myself and reintroduce myself to some. Like I said, I am an author as well as a coach, and I help people when it comes to their personal finances. One of my first experiences with personal finance was when my mom taught me my very first scripture, owe no man nothing but to love them, which is Romans 13:8. And then in the 4th grade, I got an opportunity to learn check writing skills as well as learn how to balance a checkbook. And that came because our teacher had us to bring in gently used toys, and we were able to auction those off. She was auctioning them off, but we had to pay for them via check. So what happened was I bid it on 2 items. And when I went to go balance my check and pay for those items, I realized I didn't have enough money in my account. So at that very moment, I made her check the math and everything because I didn't understand how in the world could I not afford these 2 items. And she basically said, you have to make a decision. You can only afford one because you don't have enough money in your account. So that was a vital lesson that has stuck with me throughout my life. And then at the age of 25, I was able to purchase my first home with no money down and no cosigner. But that took hard work and also ensuring that my credit score was where it needed to be. And I was being very mindful of my credit history and things that could affect my credit history as well. So, and then when I got my first job, one of my aunts taught me to save the hundreds and spend the sum. So if I made $250, I had to spend the $50, and I saved the 200. And that has helped me learn how to save and work within a tight budget and learn, the difference between needs and wants. And it helped me to build in a substantial savings at a very early age. So let's get into today's topic, how to get credit for the first time. Like I said, some of you recently had college and high schools that just graduated. Good morning, Kavadas. How are you? Let me know if you can hear the audio okay. Just recently graduated or have nieces or nephews that's recently graduated. And like I said, they're going to be bombarded with a lot of credit card offers. So let's just talk about a couple things that can help them establish their credit early. So generally, it's kind of hard to get credit when you have not yet established any credit. But once you establish credit, it gets easier, once you have established some credit. But some things that they can do to apply for some credit, they can look at credit offers for beginners, people that don't have any kind of credit history. If they had a checking or a savings account for a substantial amount of time at a local banking institute, they can ask their banker whether if they have some kind of secured credit cards, or do they have credit cards for beginners, do they have student credit cards, or maybe a credit builder loan or something of that nature to get them started. Also, retail and gas cards are generally very easy to get. So that's kind of two of the first cards that I actually got. There was a BP gas station near my home when I was growing up, so I got a BP gas card, and I still have that card to this day. And then there was a J.C. Penney's department store near my home, and I got a retail card at J.C. Penney's, and that helped to also start and build my credit even at a young age. So I knew I would shop, and I knew so just be mindful when you do get those type of credit cards that you're paying the balances off at the end of the cycle. So those are very easy to get for beginners in credit. And also, after you establish your credit for a few months with those types of credit cards, you probably will start getting offers from like major credit cards like Visa as well as MasterCard and things of that nature. But one thing you should take into account, even though those cards are easier, sometimes their interest rate, which basically means what you're going to be paying for carrying over a balance over on that card. So like if you spend $100 and then you don't pay it when that cycle is over, and you may have a high interest rate. You may end up paying $120 for that $100 that you borrowed on that credit card. But it also can help establish you some good credit history initially by paying your balance off every month in full. And if for whatever reason you do find yourself having to carry over a balance, make sure you're making your monthly payments timely and making sure you're making those on time. Also, you can get a secured credit card for them. A secured credit card requires a deposit generally for your credit limit. So a secured credit card, you may have to deposit $500, which then that establishes what your limit is on that card. Sometimes some secured credit cards will convert in 12 to 18 months if you have a positive history. So you just have to research and see which one works best for your college age student, or if you're not in college but you're an adult and have not established a good credit history yet. Also, you may look into some possible if they're under, you have to be 18 to actually get a credit card or a loan. But if you have children that's under that age and you want to go ahead and start them off establishing credit now, some things you can do is you can add them as an authorized user or a joint user on one of your major credit cards. Don't give them the card though, but you can make sure you can add them as an authorized user or a joint user on the card. Also, if they're under 21, then they have to provide proof of income as well as get a cosigner or a joint card in order for them to actually have a card of their own. So that's some things to keep in mind as well. But one thing you want to talk to them about, like I said, once they get to college, you're going to get all these credit card offers. Good morning, Emmanuel. Thank you for letting me know about the audio. That they have to watch for applying for several applications at one time. So sometimes you can go to back to school shopping or whatever, and you're in these stores and they're trying to their job at the register is to say, hey, sign up for our credit card. You get 20% off today, or you sign up for our credit card and our store retail card, and you get this kind of bonus points or whatever. But you have to be mindful of applying for several credit or putting in several credit applications within a short amount of time. That can affect your credit score. Also be mindful of credit card offers that say we guarantee no matter what your credit card history is. Sometimes they could be scams, and sometimes they could just end up costing you more in the long run. So also be mindful of that. Also, if you get one, make sure you're using it wisely. Make sure you're paying your payments on time. Good morning, Uncle Donnie. How are you? Make sure you're paying your payments on time. Make sure that you're can afford what you put on that card. And if you can't pay them off at the end of that billing cycle, just make sure you're paying them consistently and on time. You can set up like an automatic payment to make sure that you don't incur any late fees, which impacts your credit by 35%. Also, limit the number of cards to start. One is enough. Just let them get one card to start establishing and building their credit. That is enough. They don't need several cards or anything like that. We just want to get them on a good foot when it comes to establishing credit. So when they do go to make major purchases, that they're in a good credit, have a good credit history and a good credit standing. So just to quickly recap what we talked about today. We talked about ways to obtain credit for the first time, and we talked about how sometimes it can be a little difficult because they don't have a credit history, but there are some things available for people, young adults, to establish their credit history. They can apply for like a beginner's credit card. They can apply for they can check with their local banking institute if they have a checking and savings account and see if they have a student card or a secured credit card, or if they have like a builder credit building your credit type loan. Also, they can apply for retail or gas cards to get started. Generally, they're easier, but they have to just be mindful of like the interest rate and stuff like that. Also, they can look into a secured credit card, which basically means they have to put in a certain amount of deposit, and whatever the deposit is what it is, their balance. So if they deposit $500, that is their balance on that card. Also, they have to be 18 to apply for a credit card or loan, but you can add them as an authorized or a joint user on your card if you have a good credit history, so they can start building and establishing their credit, but also make sure that they're aware of the pitfalls that can happen when you start charging things. So make sure they're not applying for several cards at the same time. Make sure that it's a reputable company that they get the card from. Make sure that you're using it wisely, and make sure they're limiting the amount of credit cards that they have. I appreciate your time this morning. You can catch me here every weekday morning, Monday through Friday, where we talk on the Money Matters Morning Show, where we talk all things faith, finances, and the freedom of good credit. Please tag and share. I truly appreciate it. Don't forget, sharing is caring. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful and blessed day. And remember, owe no man nothing but to love him, for he that hath loveth hath fulfilled the law. Good morning, Aunt Tilda. Catch the replay. I'm out.